Start streaming. All right. We are streaming. We are live. How's everybody doing? This is
All right.
Actors Endurance VODcast, and we are on What the Hell Wednesdays. So coming up, we have AI fueled. There we go. AI fueled trailers that predicts hits. We have AR influencers changing the way that they're doing casting nowadays. Keep an eye out on that. We have the Los Angeles curfew and how they're affecting theaters. And last but not least, we have Netflix in Spain. Or they're going to Spain. So we're going to find out what they're doing up in there. And of course, you can catch Actors Endurance podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today is What the Hell Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. So, Shanette, how we going to
Yay.
start this one off?
Ooh, we're gonna start this thing off by just saying everybody that's watching, subscribe.
Yes.
Yes. And let's jump it off with the AI, you know. Let's just go ahead and do them right in order. I mean, why not? Yeah. Just go
Okay.
down the list, you know, go
Let's
down the
go
list.
right in order. All right. So check this out. Got a little AA card over here. All right.
Hey,
So AI
hey, keep it
fueled
going.
trailers. So now what they're doing is they're doing adaptive trailers. So they're having like A/B testing, adaptive trailers, and they're doing it in real time. Netflix and Disney are developing AI generated trailers, and it's based on the feeders, I'm sorry, based on feedback and the user experience, their emotional experience to whatever it is that they saw. So the trailers are going to be tailor made for the audiences. So my trailer here in Austin may look totally different than your trailer over there in Atlanta. And they probably do this more for their overseas market, kind of learning how to understand them a little bit better, you know.
Mhm.
What do you think about that? Like AI fueled. I mean, this is just another way that the technology is sort of being integrated into what we do on an everyday basis. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, if you remember, we did a episode on how they were doing the same thing with the AI commercials and the ads coming up now. So they're gonna be, gonna make them specific to the market, specific to like the area, the territory, wherever these people are. So, I mean, to me, it's not a surprise. I feel like going forward, everything is going to be more specific to the individual. I think that's what they're really trying to do is just trying to narrow it down. They're starting with like the bigger markets, making it smaller, smaller, smaller. So now it's, by like region or area or territory. Then it'll be by like state, city, town. Next thing you know, to be like, listen, you live on this block and you like hot Cheetos. You live on the other block and you like Fritos. You're only going to get those commercials, you know? You're only going to get those types of movie trailers if they know that you live on 7th Street and you like westerns, but on 29th Street y'all like comedies. That's what that's what it seems like. And then, eventually it's just going to be per person. Everything will probably be connected to your phone. And then, whatever you typically, tend to continuously watch or you like, that's all you'll ever see as far as ads and like movie trailers, TV, commercials, things like that. So that's what it seems like to me. I'm not sure how much I like that because I would prefer more of a variety. Yes, I want to see the things that I want to see, and I'm not a big fan of cats, so I don't necessarily want to see any cat content. But at the same time, I kind of do. It might be something interesting. I might learn something I've never learned before. Like so. I'm not sure how I, you know, technically like, the specificity. Do you prefer this? Do you prefer to see only things that you want to see that interest you, or do you prefer more of a variety?
I want a mixture, because there are things that I like, but there are things that I can learn. Like I don't, if I put in one thing, eventually I'm going to get tired of it, but I may not know I like something if I'm never, if it's never presented itself to me. So, uh, I like it, but I mean, this is really just it's almost like looking at news commercials. You know how I am about that. And they show certain commercials because of that's where the emotion is at that time. So I don't know if advertising will actually change. We would like more variety, but I think that we may have to look for that in our social medias. Like, if you really want to change what you're seeing, just change what you're viewing, and that
Mm.
algorithm. So I think that we're still going to have to get used to a world of algorithms and how they work individually for one system is different than the other one. So it's crazy. It's like the Wild Wild West. It has to be like when it was like the new frontier and everybody had walked around with a little stick and was like, "This is my stake in this land," kind of deal. So we're in um we're in some pretty fertile ground right now. It's pretty unique to be in this time period, if you ask me.
Yeah, and then one last thing I'll say about this is I wonder how businesses plan to gain new customers and, branch out if they're only targeting people that already like their services, their product. Like how do you gain any kind of new customers if you're only targeting to your old customers?
It,
So
it
I don't know.
that's a good point though, because that's wild. Like I'll join something, I'll already be paying, and then all of my commercials is like they're sending me. I'm like, I've already paid. If I don't like it by now, your commercials ain't gonna make me like it no more than I already do or don't at this time. So I
Absolutely.
think that, but again, this is why it's the Wild Wild West. I think that eventually they are going to figure out, okay, they have it. So how are we going to sell them an enhancement? Or if they like 11 Labs, are they going to like Pika? Are they going to like Sora? So I think that they'll get all of that together where they're kind of crossing each other. But for right now, yeah, they're just like sort of dumb robots. It's like, oh look, that's what he likes. It's like, okay, that's enough, bro. I got it. Trust me. But it's growing. But good point though.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. But listen, y'all, we're here for a good time, not a long time. You tell us, leave it in the comments. What do you think about these AI fueled trailers that predict hits? And also, let us know what you think about these AI commercials that are, everything's targeting their specific audience. You guys like it, you don't like it, you want to see it, you don't want to see it. Let us know. Let us know. Leave it in the comments, y'all. But yeah, we're just
Yes.
gonna move on. Just gonna move
Yes, we
right
are gonna
along, right
move on.
along.
And also, while you're in those
Mhm.
comments, let us know if you like this new look that we got going on here. We're giving you some
Oh
information
yeah.
down there at the bottom. Maybe something you
Oh
ain't
yeah.
really getting, but we're gonna make this better. So chime in with us and let us know what you would like to see on that ticker, and then we'll see what we can work out. But moving right along, we're gonna go through AR influencers are changing the way that they're doing casting now. I'm going to come back with this story about Timberland. He signed a brand new AI artist, like an AI female artist, totally AI. Timberland has it as an artist on his label. So she's the first AI singer, I believe, or pop singer or something like that. But I don't have much information on that. Kind of came across that just now. But AI influencers are really becoming a part of society. So, Max, this is an AI contestant on Netflix Circle, and it was generated by AI driven responses. So, this is like a game contestant show, but you're rooting for an AI avatar, and I don't think people even know that it's AI. Makes you think. Disney has done this too. Disney said that they created their characters, but people thought they was like, "Oh, Disney cloning people." No, it is an AI generated. Do you remember that? You remember that a couple of years ago? Disney came out and said we created this, and everybody was like, "Oh, they're cloning." I don't know if they're cloning or not, okay, guys, but I can
Yeah, because they
just
might
say
be cloning. Let's time out now. It's 2025. They possibly could be cloning.
could
That's a
be.
good possibility.
I'm gonna,
However,
yeah,
it could be both now because they're
it could be
definitely
both.
doing the AI. But the cloning
I'm
is a
going to
possibility.
I'm gonna err on the side of caution and stick with the technology that I know we got, and that is they probably made it AI. But Could be a clone. I don't know. If y'all know something, please let us know. You know what I mean? Let us know. So
Hmm.
anyway, there's another one, Alba Renee. Now, Alba Renee is Spain's first AI host. Can y'all believe that? Spain has an AI host. She already has 10,000 IG followers, and she's backed by Mediaset España because as we're taking our Espanol, I know that
Yeah.
because it's a female, it's España, right? Is that the rule? That's the rule for Spanish? España?
Uh,
And it would be Espanol if
Espana.
it was a boy. Is that the rule?
What is her name?
No, no. This is so the company is called Mind Media Set España. So is that
Oh, okay.
like I don't know.
Well,
We're
this is
learning Spanish with
feminine.
Duolingo. They ain't teach us that yet. And I'm trying to say
Yeah.
is if it's a female, then it would end in an A. But if let's say it was Juan, would it be Espanol? Or I just don't know a damn thing about Spanish. I'll move on. All right. So I don't
I
know a damn
think
thing
we can
about
move on.
Spanish, but
We
it's
gonna move on.
media. It's Media Set
We gonna move
España,
on.
and it's for the show Survivor Spain. So that host that you're looking at on Survivor Spain is an AI generated avatar. So I don't know how she looks. She's probably beautiful, but if you've already fallen in love with her, you should probably reconsider because she ain't real, buddy. So um, all that to say, AI influencers are here. You remember a few years ago there was an AI rapper. You remember that totally AI generated rapper, but they put the halt
Uh,
on that one. But yeah,
but the thing is,
I
with
think it
these,
was in the VR.
no, but like with all these AI generated people, it's still a person behind it because who's prompting it? So I'm
Yes.
thinking, like when you say Timberland signed the artist, like who did he really sign?
Ooh.
Did a real rapper actually create an AI avatar and they just because you know how they'll have the little ghost writers and now you just
Ooh.
I don't know
Didn't think about
because I
that.
think like yeah because I think just hear me out guys hear me out say just a rapper or a singer say you're out there and you're really trying to make your way in the world but say people either don't like you for whatever reason they're not dealing with you because I don't know you don't have the right look so you go online you create your AI person now of course your pen is phenomenal so you can write you have your own style this that and the other and you create and now you blow up as an AI person like I don't know, you probably make more money too, but and you can still live a regular life. That's I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting because you can't have an AI without a person.
Actually,
Because
we may be approaching the age of Ultron a little quicker than what we
no,
think.
not no Terminator, not
Nah,
yet. No.
nah. We got a little.
I
We
don't
got
know.
I don't think anybody watching this podcast or vodcast will even be alive by the time an Age of Ultron happens. We're talking like your great grandchildren. They got to make money
Yeah.
first, okay? They're gonna spend a couple hundred years. They ain't spending all. They're not spending billions and trillions of dollars to just go kill everybody off tomorrow. Hell no, they just cut the robot off. People don't.
Absolutely.
They can cut these robots off. Okay, they can.
It can.
Just don't get it twisted. Anyway,
It can. Yeah. Yeah. Moving right
speaking
along.
of
Moving right
something
along.
getting cut off, what about these curfews?
Yes. Ooh, 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 ooh. I mean, I feel like Donald Trump is embodying that Michael Jackson, got to be starting something. Said you want to be starting something. Got to be starting something. Just every day. He's just starting something with somebody over something. And I feel like most of the time he's in the wrong. But anyway, now in LA, not only do we have the police, we have the National Guard, we have the Marines. I don't know who else is going out there to, but anyway, we got way too many police out there. Oh, on top of that, of course, ICE, which is raiding all these schools and separating children and taking actual legal people and sending them overseas. They're taking Mexicans and sending them to Guatemala and like, what are you people doing? But anyway, so. of course, LA, they're going to riot. They're going to get out there. They're going to march. They're going to protest. Now, the protests, for the most part, are peaceful. But of course, with all the National Guards, Marines, and everything, and some people do start looting, but it's always a small amount. But anyway, yeah. So now there's a curfew. So the curfew in LA, it started on Tuesday, yesterday, and it's from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. So they don't want anybody in
Hey,
the
wait a minute.
street.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold, sorry, sorry. Did you say 8 p.m.? 8
The
p.m.
curfew. The curfew runs from 8 o'clock p.m. The sun's still up, until 6 o'clock a.m. So yeah, you cannot be outside. Now they started it on Tuesday. They moved it into Wednesday, and I'm not sure if it's going into Thursday, but I'm going to assume so. Most likely they'll probably keep it for the next few days at the minimum. Now, not only do they have they have the curfew, and then they're also they're basically blocking off areas. So the areas that they're blocking off are from the 5 freeway to the 110 freeway, and then from north to south on the 10 freeway, where the 5 and the 110 freeways merge. So if you're out in LA, you understand where all that that area is. Yeah, and it's all due to the protests. And I mean, oh Lord have mercy, I really don't even know what to say about all this, because there's always a bigger picture that it seems like, especially you Trump supporters out there, don't really want to see or recognize or acknowledge. There's always a bigger picture. And in my opinion, the bigger picture is just basic human rights, number one. And if we're going to abide by the law, then everyone should abide by the law. You can't have some people following the law and the rules, and then some people doing whatever they want to do, but claiming this, you know, sitting on their high horse and claiming this is their moral and ethical duty to do. No, 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 no. So I don't know. I just think it's funny how the Orange Man, he pardons the criminals that stormed the White House, even injuring and killing people, pardons all them, says that was fine, but calls these people that are peacefully marching for human rights criminals. Please leave that in the comments and help me understand. I would love for someone to break this down for me, because I'm at a loss for words on this. But amongst the curfew, so since there is a curfew, 8 o'clock, a lot of these theaters, like the Alamo Draft House Theater, they close early. The Regal, the Regal is still selling tickets. So if you want to go to the Regal and watch the movies, they're selling tickets. The Peacock Theater, they canceled their schedule. Um, there's I would say, if you're going to an event, whether it be a play, you're going to the actual movies, you're going to a concert, please check the schedule. Go to the website, because if you already bought tickets, you might need to get a refund, because there are plenty of I know you'll love this. So the Wu-Tang Clan, they got a game. Excuse me, they had to have a concert on the 17th, which they got a few days for that. It's not till next week. So hopefully all these protests and riots and all that doesn't go into next week, but the way it's going, probably. So y'all, if I were you, if you're in LA, because a lot of these venues, the convention center, the crypto arena, a lot of these venues, they have a lot of events coming up, and I'm not sure if they're going to be canceled, rescheduled because of this curfew 8 o'clock, which is wild. So yeah, I don't know. And then to all you protesters out there, I would say invest in a gas mask, wear some, invest in some things that can, prevent you from getting hurt and hit by the rubber bullets. Have some. I would say, look at what the National Guard and the police are wearing, and obtain those same items.
I don't know if you could
That's what
just
I
get
would
that at
say.
Walmart.
For the most part, you can, though. For the most part, you can. Everything but the, I don't know if they sell guns anymore at Walmart, but
Hmm.
for the most part, you can, you know? I mean, if you're gonna be out there on those streets, get you a bulletproof vest, get you some, some armored gear, to where it covers, your most delicate parts because those rubber bullets, they hurt. If you guys were watching the news, that news reporter, she was just standing there minding her own business. The cop was maybe 30 feet from her. So he saw her, he aimed in her direction, shot her on purpose, in my opinion, because he's highly trained. He's been to the range many a times. He shot many of those rubber bullets. So he knew that he was shooting her when he shot her. That anyway, I'm not going so we just gonna move on. Not giving all my opinions on the matter, but I'm sure y'all understand where I'm coming from and where I'm going with this. So yeah, guys,
Yeah.
if you if you're in LA, be safe. And if you plan on going anywhere, make sure you call, go online, check the venue, make sure they're not shut down. This is 2025. We still dealing with the craziness, but just gonna get
Yes.
worse. It's just the way life
Yes,
goes.
we are. Um, I only I haven't lived in LA for a very long time, so I have no comment on it. We can go to Spain if we want. If you good with that?
Yeah. We don't have to go to Spain. Yeah, when I was in LA and they had the COVID and we were out there marching with the COVID, I'd just say all them police officers fucking assholes. But speaking of Spain, yeah, Netflix, boy, they sure are trying to take over. They sure are trying to take over. Now, not only did they just build a humongous facility in New Jersey, now Netflix is investing well, they said more than $1 billion, but a billion euro in Spain. And they're going to spread that out between 2025 and 2028. So what they decided to do was branch out, because they already done. Netflix has already, changed their model. They're not interested in how many subscribers they have or how many memberships. They're not interested in that anymore. They're just branching out into something completely different. And now they're moving over to Spain. And the this move, I think, is really going to be beneficial for them because they've already been out there for some years and they've already had more than what 1,000 since 2027. They've already had over 1,000 Spanish titles. So it's over 1,000 Spanish, film, TV shows. And they have barely been, investing in those communities out there. They filmed in over 200 cities and towns across the communities in Spain. They've um They've helped support more than what over 20,000 people with jobs just in the film and TV industry. And y'all, this is just going to continue to grow. Okay, continue to grow. So Spain has a lot of beautiful locations, and that's one of the main things that they noted as one of their reasons for moving over there because they film in over 200 cities and towns, and they haven't even touched the surface on the different locations that they can use for their upcoming projects. Now they've already had since 2017 they've made plenty of film and television, and they've generated over 5 billion hours of viewing on Netflix. So that's how Netflix, yes, over 5 billion hours of viewing on Netflix. So that's how Netflix knows that this is pretty much like a sure thing. So for them to invest 1 billion euros between now and 2028, oh my goodness, yeah. So I think this is a great investment. Not only that, I feel like it's another way to bring people together as well. Because over there in Netflix, I'm sure they have some people from the United States, to fly over there and, help set it up and run it, things like that. So, and then, whatever they have in Spain, I'm sure is going to translate over here to the United States because they've already had some. Hold on, what was there were a couple of titles that what was it? Oh man. But anyway, yeah, they've had some great you know TV shows from Spain that were on Netflix and the United States, and we love those titles. So if I can find them, y'all, I'll tell you what they are because I forgot. But don't mind me.
All right. Well, I mean, and they have other things that they're expanding on. Like Netflix actually did. They had like some kind of fund. You remember, like it was like a oh come on, Marlon. It was a growth fund. I believe it was for Latin America. Like they were giving money to actually grow certain areas. It was either that or Thailand or something. They have like
Mm-hmm.
Netflix has a fund, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe we'll look into that for another episode. But they definitely have a fund that they were doing to build content in other areas to be able to actually sell in those areas as well. So, I mean, you're right. They're so far beyond. Oh, I got a movie for you. They're like, yeah, whatever. We was, you know, that was like last year's product, bro. We are on to bigger and better. So, you know, that's
Mm-hmm.
again, it's ever changing. So that's why we're here. We're bringing you a whole bunch of meta stuff and a whole bunch of AI, VR, AR to keep you updated so that we can all go forward together because the technology is here and so are we.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're not going anywhere. Just like Netflix isn't going anywhere. All we're gonna do is expand. You know, that's it. We're just growing. We're just growing. Maybe growing
Yep.
in Spain. You never know. Just keep on watching, y'all. You never know where we're gonna be. Mm-hmm.
Never know. But
But
you know where we are going to be, though. You can find us here Monday for Hot Topics Monday, Wednesdays for What the Hell Wednesdays, and Fridays for Fun Fact Fridays every week at 8.
every week,
Every week. Every week. I'm going to
every,
get you with that
every week,
DC. And just so y'all
every.
know, that I'm about that DC thing for real. Let them know, Chuck. Show you
Oh
right.
Lord,
All right. There we go. There we go.
I can
Chuck has
too. I
spoken,
can
so
too. Yep,
I
check us
guess
too, man. Yeah, we
I
here for a
guess we're
good
about
time,
to
not
get
a
on up
long
out of
time,
here.
y'all. So yeah, that's about it, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. Thank you for watching.
All right. Yes, we appreciate y'all. And catch us on Friday. We'll be back with the Fun Facts Friday. And let us know how you like this new look. So we're going forward with something a little freaky, you know. And Fun Fact Fridays are going to look a little different. So we're going to hit y'all. See you Friday at 8. Peace.
Bye.